Boomer Sooner, everybody. You guys know me, I'm Harry James. We're down to it. The final Big 12 regular season matchup. This one will be in Norman against the defending Big 12 regular season champions, the defending Fiesta Bowl champions, and the second place last year TCU Horned Frogs. That's how all that works together. 13-2, a perfect 9-0 in conference play. We'll tell you how they got the two losses, about their 9-0 regular season, and about what TCU has coming on as we break down the final home regular season home game inside the Big 12 for the Sooners, and that's the TCU Horned Frogs. Let's go. Welcome back to the show, everybody. You guys know me, I'm Harry James. The final regular season game inside the Big 12 for the Oklahoma Sooners of OU, the TCU Horned Frogs. Played their home games at Amon G. Carter Stadium. They're in Fort Worth, Texas, just outside the outskirts of Dallas. They came off of a 13-2 overall season last year, a perfect 9-0 in conference play, which, by the way, won them the outright Big 12 regular season title. They took that into Arlington for the Big 12 championship, but Kansas State got their revenge this time in overtime with a 31-28 win over TCU, did Kansas State. So TCU lost that one. They bounced back in the Fiesta Bowl, part of the college football playoffs, where they had just enough energy to sneak past Old Khakis and Jim Harbaugh and Big Bad Michigan out of the Big Ten. Got him! 51-45. A big comeback comes up just short for Michigan, which earns them the right to play for the national championship, where, by the way, they got it handed to them pretty good by Georgia and the Bulldogs. Final score of that one, the national championship game, that is, 65-7. And that thing was really over by halftime. Their head coach, Sonny Dykes, trying to get them back to where they need to be. Second year at TCU. He is a 1993 grad from Texas Tech and the Red Raiders, where, by the way, he not only slung it on the football field, but also played a little bit of baseball, a little bit of Kyler Murray action there, playing both basketball and football. Not only Kyler, but also Patrick Mahomes there at Texas Tech. So did that at Texas Tech, just like Mahomes did. Before graduating in 1993, when he found out that it was probably going to make a better coach than a player in the NFL or anything like that, he went into coaching, where, by the way, he's had a couple of coaching stints. He went on to start out at Louisiana Tech as a head coach. The Bulldogs of the Western Athletic Conference, no divisions, was there for 2 years, or for a couple of years, from 2010 to 2012, before accepting a job to Power 5 football, at least at that time, with Cal Berkeley. He was there from 13 to 16 in the North Division of the Pac-12, before heading back to his central roots in Texas at SMU and the Mustangs in the American Conference, the West Division of the American Conference, I should say, was there from 2016 to 2021 before he joined on to another Power 5 conference in the Big 12 with the TCU Horned Frogs. No divisions inside the Big 12 yet, and has been TCU since 2022. Trying to get them back to where they want to be, which is to that peak of the national championship. Won't be easy, but it gets a lot easier with players returning, like number 15, Charlie Nolan, or Chance Nolan, I should say. Chance Nolan passed for 939 yards, 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 74 was a season-long pass. Did all that in 5 games last year for the Beavers of Oregon State. A little bit of an easier ride when you can rush the ball. So whether it's Nolan or the former Sooner Chandler Morris, it's going to help them having a running game. They got a semi-good running game. Imani Bailey and Trey Sanders. Now, Bailey first, and not Imani Bailey, number 9 for TCU this season. At TCU, by the way, had 51 rushing attempts for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, and a long-distance shot run from 37 yards out, playing in all 14 games last year. Playing in 14 of the 15 games last year for TCU. Also now at TCU, number 4, Trey Sanders, had 14 rushing attempts for 80 yards and 0 touchdowns, 25 yards for a long run. Played in 9 games last year for another Crimson and Cream runner, Alabama. That's right, Roll Tide. That's where he was last year for rushing for Nick Saban, or Nick Saban, if you will, Alabama. Now, whether it's Nolan or Chandler Morris, the former Sooner, you got to get the ball out to the receivers. 2 players to watch out for in this case. What about number 7, John Paul Richardson, a.k.a. J.P. Richardson, or Savion Williams? Now, if J.P. Richardson or John Paul Richardson sounds familiar to Big 12 folks, it should. Because number 7 for TCU this year, J.P., a.k.a. John Paul Richardson, had 59 total receptions last year to go for 503 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a season-long 83-yard catch, and or 83-yard reception, I should say. Played in 13 games last year for Oklahoma State University, OSU. Yes, that OSU. The Pokes, the Aggies of Okie State. But it's not entirely new wide receivers. 3, Savion Williams, was there at TCU last year, where he caught 29 passes to go for 392 yards, 4 touchdowns, including a 59-yard reception. Playing in 15 games last season for Texas Christian. So you jump from offense to defense. You got to play some defense inside the Big 12. And that includes for TCU, I should say. That includes number 3, Mark Perry, and number 3, Jermaine Hodges. 3, Mark Perry first. 84 total tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumbles recovered, 0 picks. Played in all 15 games last year for Texas Christian University. While number 6, Jermaine Hodges, 82 total tackles last year, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumbles recovered, and a pick from a linebacker slot, playing in 13 games. 13 of the 15 games for TCU. So from there, now we head to the punter, the special teams. everybody knows about 31 for the punter. That's Jordy Sandy. 63 total punts last year. Averages 39.9 in average. 3 punts inside the 20. 3 touchbacks. 18 inside the 20. And a long punt from 59 yards. Playing in all 15 games for TCU. And kicker Griffin Kale. Kiffin Gale wears 39 for TCU. And last year was 17 for 19. That's an 89% kicking percentage, including a long distance kick from 54 yards, playing in 14 of the 15 games for TCU. All right, guys, that'll wrap this thing up. We'll ship it out. You know what it is next week, people. It is a very fun OU Sooner preview. We've made it all the way from Arkansas State to TCU. We've previewed everybody on the schedule. So next time around, we'll preview Oklahoma. You can find that in everything else, video-wise, for me, on Facebook here, James Taylor, Twitter at HypeManHarry, and the YouTube 1982 Boomer Sooner. Also have a Patreon that I just created, and I'll attach that in there too. So look for that coming in soon. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and as you guys know, I'm Harry James. Boomer Sooner, everybody. See y'all next week for a very special edition of the OU football preview with the Oklahoma Sooners. We made it all the way through the summer, boys. Let's go.